Need the coffee. So I think it's cafecito time.
Cafecito time.
Oh, cafecito time.
Good evening, Canes Familia. Welcome back to the show. We are here to react to the ACC schedule drop that just happened about 16 minutes ago. So Miami's schedule for 2026, their full schedule, because we already knew the non-conference games, has officially been announced. I'm going to put it up on the screen now. We'll go through it. But before I do that, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Also, a little bit of Darian Mensah news. I will get to that a little later. Nothing's been announced officially yet, but some reasons for excitement. I'll get to that in a minute. But first things first, the schedule has been dropped for 2026. Let's check that out right now. Let's pop that on the screen. And there we go. All righty. So here you have a little surprised by week one here. I think a lot of us are. They started to leak this earlier in the day that this was a possibility. Miami normally doesn't open their season on the road unless it's like a big non-conference game, you know, for example, going to the Swamp, going to Tallahassee, something like that. Miami will be opening Friday night, Labor Day weekend at Stanford. The time for that game hasn't been announced. I am really hoping it's a 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern start time, Eastern kickoff time. I really hope it's not a 10:30 game. If it is, got to get the a lot of cafecito ready for that one. But you got Stanford week one, and remember, you got 9 ACC games instead of the normal 8. They increased the conference schedule to 9 games. So instead of 4 non-conference games, you got only 3. Before they used to open the season, at least Miami used to open the season with the non-conference games, then go into the conference schedule. They mixed it up a little bit more to break it up. I like that they did that personally. So yeah, you got Stanford week one on the road. And then you come back home for your home opener, September 10th, Saturday against FAMU. Then week 3, go on the road again, back to the North Carolina area to face Wake Forest, and then back home again to face Central Michigan. So not a particularly tough opening to the schedule, but obviously, you know, being a Canes fan for a very long time, I know not to take any opponent for granted. Hopefully they go in prepared, and hopefully they learned from last season's middle, you know, kind of middle of the year stumbles, if you will, that, you know, you got to take everybody seriously, and you can't take the good coaching that is in the ACC for granted on the other side. You can't just assume that with our talent, we're just going to overpower teams. They know how to out-scheme you and outsmart you. It seems like our coaching staff kind of learned their lesson and just put their foot on the gas the last 4 games of the year and dominated. Hopefully they take that attitude through this entire ACC schedule and just dominate the entire way, as we know they can. So those are the first 4 games: Stanford, FAMU, Wake Forest, Central Michigan. Then it gets a tad tougher. You got the very next week, October 3rd, at Clemson. Now, it's not the usual Clemson from the late 2010s, who were just dominating the ACC and dominating college football. But still a well-coached team, still a team you got to take seriously, and it's still a great atmosphere to go play in, and surely they're going to sell out their stadium when we come to town. So got to make sure you get the W there. Then my Christmas, the annual rivalry game against Florida State. That will be on October 17th. So you got to have a little bye week there between the Clemson game and Florida State. I like that. We had a bye week, I believe, heading into the Florida State game this past season, and it worked out great for us. We came in super prepared, and we looked good. So we got our usual mid-October game against FSU there at home. Then you got Pitt at home the week right after. North Carolina on Halloween night at Chapel Hill. That's one I'm kind of circling because it's right before you face Notre Dame. It's the week before. So got to make sure we're prepared, not looking ahead to Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's really the, you know, aside from FSU, the really big game on the schedule. got to make sure and take care of business against Belichick and the Tar Heels. The Tar Heels for years have given us fits. Hope we take out a measure of revenge in that game. Certainly we got the better roster by a mile. But it is a Bill Belichick coach team, so got to be prepared, got to execute. Then, yeah, the big one at Notre Dame in South Bend, November 7th. Hopefully we can shut them up for the second year in a row. Then we finish with a nice little 3-game stretch at home. Lovely. This is awesome because last year, or this past season that just ended, we finished with 2 games on the road. That wasn't cool. So senior night was like at the beginning of November. But not so much here. You got Duke on the 14th at home. You got Virginia Tech at home on the 20th. That should be a great one. That should be really fun. Probably that may be the conference clinching game. Maybe if that's not that one, it might be the BC game at the end of the year on Thanksgiving weekend. So, couple of games to be excited about. I like that Clemson one on the road. FSU, always a good reason to be excited. You got Notre Dame on the road, of course. Duke for obvious reasons with the quarterback situation. They're going to want a little payback, and we always like beating up on Duke. So, and then Vatek and BC, some old Big East rivalries there. So that's the schedule right now. Not as tough as this past year. I'll be honest with you. It's definitely a weaker start to the season with Stanford, FAMU, Wake Forest, and Central Michigan. So no excuses. This is a schedule that Miami should be able to dominate. My standard right now, especially with the season we just had, is 11-1. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I say 11-1 because you can have a mulligan, you can trip up once and be fine. So that's with a schedule like this, you can't really afford anything less than that. So really hope they take care of business. But it's January. We got a lot of time to worry about that, but at least we know who we're playing, when we're playing them. We'll know game times, obviously, because as the season approaches, as we get into the season. But that's not for another 8-9 months. I personally am going to sit here and enjoy the off season and enjoy this portal recruiting and spring football process. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know some of you already are letting me know what you think and about the schedule. Do we have a week 0 game? We do not. That first game against Stanford is Labor Day weekend, so it's week 1. How we start on the road, that is a little weird. I don't know, and I don't know why we keep playing these Friday night games. I think that's a conference thing. The ACC loves Thursday and Friday night games. I freaking hate them, but it is what it is. At this point, I'm in the mode of like, I don't care who you put in front of us at this point, just freaking win. And Stanford is week 1, so I don't think that's because it's week 1 and you got FAMU right after that. It's not a game they're going to take lightly. They're going to be excited to get back out there and try to get back to the national title game. So I don't think they're going to take anybody lightly on the schedule. As long as they don't smell the rat poison, as Mario always says, I think we'll be good. Bro, we got 4 games of Friday. We got 4 Friday games? That can't be right. No, I think we just have the 1. No G-Tech, no Louisville, me liking, okay. Yeah, Fish Fan Miami, he prefers to avoid the ones that give us fits. I'm not afraid to play anybody in our conference, but if you're saying those teams have given us problems over the years, you'd be factual. You'd be correct. Felton says free Darian Mensah. Yep, like I said, I will get to that in a second. ND thinking this time if we get them late, we'll win. Yeah. But John, who was our quarterback? I'm getting to that. West Coast night. As long as it's West Coast at night, we'll be fine. Yeah. No Louisville, no SMU, no NC State. Yeah, like I said, no excuses. Wait, is that? Hold on. Because you guys are saying there's 3 games on Friday. Maybe you're right, because I'm just seeing the dates. It doesn't say the day of the week. Are there a series of 4 weekday games? I'm looking at the comments right now. That's crazy if they're really doing that. Okay, we got Friday night, the opener. That one I knew. Oh, that's right. They put FAMU on Thursday. They moved it. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Wake Forest is... Hold on, folks. Wake Forest is on the 18th. Oh, wow, you're right. That's on a Friday. Then our first Saturday game is Central Michigan. And then Clemson. Then those are all Saturdays. Wow. Wow, you guys are right. That is crazy. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Coach Coop. I knew we had the 1 to start the season, but wow. Yeah, again, guys, I apologize. I was looking at it doesn't say the day of the week. It says, just the date on it. But yeah, that's terrible. And we just played in the national championship. I feel like that's a little disrespectful. I feel like I know why they're doing it. I guess they want to showcase their best team midweek, but that does us 0 favors. No, the players hate playing with weeknight games. That's terrible. Whatever. That is, yeah, that's definitely odd. We don't play a Saturday game, guys, until late September, until a month into the season. That's really strange. Wow. Miami should be undefeated going into November again. Yeah, I mean, they should be undefeated this season, period. Stanford, Wake, VT all on Fridays. FAMU on Thursday, atrocious. I agree. By the way, shout out to Coach Coop. Thank you for being on, man. Thank you for being on the chat. Appreciate you. Love your content. See, Friday games are no problem. We do it at home. It's the same night as high school football. What's up? Clemson could be our first primetime game. Yeah, man. Kane thing. That's my feeling exactly. Let's get out of this conference, please. And I think in the next few years we will. I'm not too worried about that. Hey, Michael, what's going on? But yeah, obviously middle of the season, Clemson, Florida State. Those are cool. Notre Dame. You got your few big games. But yeah, God, 4 weeknight games, that's terrible. No other big time program does that. It's only us, and it's because of the stupid conference we play in. But whatever. Anyways, so that's the schedule. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let us get to the good news. Let me pull it up. So earlier today, there's been some stuff leaked on, well, not leaked. There's been rumors online about a certain quarterback that we're trying to bring in. And we've been in this Darian Mensah saga, like 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks? And earlier today, Coach Dennis Smith, you know how he likes to post his bat signals when we landed a recruit or we're about to land a recruit or a portal guy or something like that. Earlier today on his X account, he posted this, and I'll pull it up right now. He posted that. Now, if you're unfamiliar, or if you're on the younger side, maybe you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption. That is a clip from the movie Shawshank Redemption. You see Morgan Freeman back there. This is the iconic scene where the prison warden discovers that the main character, Andy Dufresne, has tunneled his way out of prison and escaped. So Dennis Smith posting a picture of a prison escape, put 2 and 2 together. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to assume who he's talking about. I would assume he is talking about Darian Mensah. So hopefully hopefully we're going to be receiving some good news, and maybe this saga will come to an end within the next couple of days. I'm thinking latest sometime this week. And by the end of it, Darian Mensah hopefully will be a Miami Hurricane. You'll be in the orange and green, and ready to suit up for spring here in late March. That would be nice. So that was a cool thing to see today. It looks like this saga may be finally nearing its end. So we may have our quarterback soon, folks. And if it ends up being Darian Mensah, I mean, if he, assuming we bring him in, he's signed, we lock him in, he's our guy for 2026. And yes, Kenty Cooper Barcade as well. I would think they're kind of a package deal. Wherever Mensah goes, that's where Cooper wants to go. You bring in those two guys. I'm looking at that schedule and thinking 12-0. Honestly. You trip up once, fine. I'll allow it. You should still be able to get to the ACC championship. You should still be in the playoff. But man, we should be able to run roughshod on that schedule. Especially, I'm looking at that first game, Stanford. Yeah, we pulled away towards the end. It took a while for our offense to kind of get going in that game. I was at that game. Defense put the clamps down. They couldn't do anything to us offensively. I knew we were fine there. I just wanted to have an impressive win, and we finally did pull away. But our offense next year with Darian Mensah would not have any problems getting started, getting the wheels churning in a game. So I think with him, our offense will be a lot more explosive, a lot closer to what we had in 2024, and kind of like what we had at times even in 2023 when TVD was looking like his old self and throwing bombs for touchdowns. But yeah, no excuses here. I'm not going to overlook anybody on the schedule. Just like Jay Singh is saying, he's not overlooking Notre Dame, but I'm not overlooking anybody. You got to take every opponent seriously. Got to respect every opponent. I know Mario Cristobal does, but hopefully they learn a valuable lesson after that SMU game. That it's not just the mentality you play with, it's the game plan, it's the preparation, it's the willingness to open things up offensively and be creative. And that not only helped us, it not only saved our season, it helped us get all the way to the national title game. Okay, so hopefully they take those lessons they learned, use it in 2026, and just absolutely dominate this conference and leave no doubt that we're the best team in that conference. And hopefully get a top 4 seed in the playoffs this time so you get to rest that first round. John, how do you feel about the offensive line? I feel okay about the offensive line. Honestly, I'm not too concerned. They're certainly not going to be the elite offensive line they just had, because that offensive line was special with Markel Bell and Francis Mauigoa on the ends. A veteran like Brockermeyer, a guy that's as smart as he is. Inez Cooper, who's massive. And then Matthew McCoy. Matthew McCoy and Pancake are coming back, so that's good. So you do have some holdovers from the national title team. But a lot of new faces that don't, some guys that have snaps. Ryan Rodriguez has snaps. He was going to start 2024, so obviously they believe in him. And he's been in the program for a long time. So I venture to think you can put him at center and he can at least be serviceable. Really, that's all I'm hoping for. Just go in there, be decent, be serviceable, make sure everybody's lined up, do all the signals, all that stuff, be on the same page with Darian Mensah. That's that's a big part of being a center. It's not just the blocking. I do feel good that he's got all that experience under his belt. Right guard's going to be a battle. Little bit of an unknown there. You got Max Buchanan probably competing with Jamal Merriweather, or Jamal Merriweather, you might kick him outside, have him compete with Jackson Cantwell. Some question marks, but, also reason for excitement because you got Jackson Cantwell, who's, checks every box you can ask for. And in this day and age where freshmen play a lot sooner, because most freshmen now, it's not like before where 20% of your recruiting class maybe would sign on early and they would show up in January and be ready for spring ball. Those used to be the guys that if any freshman contributed early, it was those guys. But now everybody comes in early. And Jackson Cantwell not only came in early, he was here for the playoff run. So he got here extra early and got extra practice reps when they were preparing to play Ohio State and Ole Miss and all these games. So he's been in that locker room, in that atmosphere where we're playing real, major playoff college football. So mentally, that's helped prepare him. And he's going to go through spring, summer workouts, add even more strength to his frame than he already has. He is already freakishly strong. And then he's going to go through fall practice. He will be plenty prepared to play right tackle. I'm not too concerned about Jackson Cantwell. Right guard, competition there, we'll see. Center, it'll either be Rodriguez or it could be SJ. You got a little competition there. Let's see, John. We don't want serviceable. No shit. I know. I don't want. I want a 5-star on every position, but we don't have that right now. We got talent for sure. We got a bunch of bodies and guys that are going to compete, but a lot of them are young and inexperienced. That's the only issue. I don't think we're done adding in the portal at the offensive line, so I'm waiting to see what happens there if we bring in one more guy, maybe a grad transfer that can play center or at least compete for the job. I like the idea of maybe SJ if he can bulk up enough. He's worked on his snapping issues. We saw him being a lead blocker as a fullback, and he played very hard. He played that role very well, and he accepted the role willingly. So that's good to see. I like SJ a lot. He's a great culture fit, very talented guy. He's just got to bulk up, add a little size, add a little strength. Maybe he ends up being your center. Who knows? We got a long way to go between now and September. But for the most part, that's what I think about the O-line. But maybe things kind of click for Ryan, and he's better than serviceable. Maybe you would even say he's good, a solid center. I don't know if we're going to get elite play at that position. I'll be honest with you, but remember, if you have Darian Mensah at quarterback, you're not going to need an offensive line that gives you 10 minutes to throw the ball. You don't need that. He plays alive with his legs. He can scramble. He can run for first downs. He can get the ball out quick. He's very decisive. Makes good decisions, as evidenced by his 500 pass attempts with only 6 interceptions. He's a hell of a decision maker. He's a smart kid. So O-line, I think we're going to be all right. That's honestly my 2 cents on that position group. I'm not terribly concerned. I know some people are. I think we're going to be okay. Honestly, we're going to be a little younger, a little more inexperienced, but I think with the coaching we have at that position, we're going to make it work. And like I said, I don't think we're done adding there. Flo, what's going on, sir? On cue. I was just talking about the O-line. I think we miss on the center position. We'll see. I got to see them play on the field before I say that. That Klein kid seems to be versatile, a Brockermeyer replacement. Klein could also compete there. He's had a few years of college ball now. He's a grown man now. Rodriguez's stability is a concern for me. He does have the injury issues. That's true. I would love to see Sampson kick out to left tackle and serve up Pancakes. To me, Pancake has found a home at guard. If he's a really, really good guard, why mess with that? You already got a guy who could potentially be a really, really good tackle, Matthew McCoy. He's played the position. I've seen him play right tackle at times when CeCe has been nicked up over the years and he's had to come in for a few plays. You see no drop off pretty much. I like McCoy a lot. I'm more than fine with him being at left tackle. That left side of the O-line, I'm good. You're bringing back experienced guys that have started games. I'm good. Center, yeah, a little bit of a concern, but we'll see what happens. Right guard, I think we'll have good competition there and someone will emerge. And right tackle, worst case scenario, it's Jackson Cantwell. That's not a very bad worst case scenario. Friday night VTech scares me, second to last game of the year. Yeah. Well, the good news is we've kind of had like this Friday night curse going on that we either lose or we get caught in these dogfights that we shouldn't be in. Hey, if anything, we'll get very used to playing them if you want to look at the bright side of that. Max Buchanan's the most talented center. He may be one. We will see. We will see. But I'm going to go eat. But thank you guys for being on. We got 92 in the chat right now. Please hit the like button and subscribe. So schedule dropped. Very, very odd schedule. Like I said, a couple, 2-3 games I'm excited about. Every year you have those couple of big games. But the rest of the schedule is odd, to say the least, with all those weeknight games. And, just a lot of ACC games that we should dominate, to be quite honest with you. I look at that schedule and I just keep thinking no excuses. Go out and dominate. But anyways, I got to run. Go Canes. I'll be on again later this week. Have a good night.